days. And then also from the 281 on the USF, the proposal of the stadium, he goes, I can assure you that no $350 million stadium will ever be built as far as USF. They couldn't even play football until the 90s. First president of USF in the early 50s said there would be no football. Harvard, they wanted it to be Harvard of the South. He went on and on and on. It's from a 281. He's a Texas Tech fan. But he said, so no one will pony up $350 million for a USF stadium. Don't have that. They don't have that level of support. I attended USF, graduated 79. There was no football team. UCF did not exist at the time. UCF got a team before USF did do Orlando having enthusiasm. So it's a very not anti, but just kind of saying, hey, tap the brakes on the story about a new stadium in Tampa.
I don't mean this as a dig at USF at all, but if the plan in 1950 was the Harvard of the South, they veered in a completely different direction. I mean, that's a big, gigantic, it was a commuter school. When I lived there, it's certainly grown to be more than that now, but yeah, that's kind of weird to hear somebody in 1950 say this is our goal is to be Ivy League-esque, and then they're not even, that's not what you'd even say if you walked onto that campus at all right now.
Oh, my brother Robert went there when he was going in college back in the early 80s. He went to USF. There was a story, Paxton brought this up about Memphis, unveils a $684 million plan to renovate sports stadiums and also build even an FC home. Newly renovated FedEx Forum, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We've heard about Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium being renovated. New AutoZone Park, also the 901 FC. So the city of Memphis looking to invest big money into its local sports teams. Of course, we've discussed Memphis quite a bit now for the last couple of years since the Texas OU story popped in July of 2021.
Yeah, and Memphis' downtown is really cool because the stadiums are all close to one another. You can, if you're sitting at the right hotel, you can kind of see them all from everywhere. A couple years ago on the way back from Nashville, Amanda and I stayed at the Peabody, which is the kind of famous hotel there in Memphis. And the baseball stadium is they really don't need to do much to that. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a fantastic park there that the Memphis Redbirds play in. And, yeah, it was really nice. So if they can make everything else look kind of like that, that'd be great. And that'd be great for any conference to add them. I just don't know if they can get that done in time enough to be a viable member of a Power 5 expansion because of how fast this is moving.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if this is the last set of teams jumping up for a while. I mean, I know it all keeps going, the expansion piece of it all and everything, but it does seem like if you're one of those, I guess it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to people who believe it's, Super League on the way, contraction's inevitable, that type of thing, then it's probably too late for Memphis to jump into the deep end. They might have missed their opportunity. Still, I mean, it'd be great to have, nicer facilities and upgrades and all those types of things. You still want to keep moving forward, and that'll be great no matter where they find themselves playing. But depending on what happens over these next few years, you do wonder if they'll look back and be like, man, if we had done that about 5 years earlier, maybe we're in a much different place. And that's something that, will depend on how things go from here on out. That's certainly a possibility, though, and they know that because that was a big topic of the last go-around was Memphis folks are like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't even really hear ourselves being involved in realignments. The Big 12's talking about you. They're talking to you and about you. And ultimately, they decided there were 4 teams that they liked, and wanted to invite over you. But there wasn't, absolutely nothing there.
Or maybe 4 teams that were more prepared and ready at the time when there was the offer.
And so, we'll see. Maybe they do find a spot in the Big 12 one day because Brett Yormark brings this bad boy to 24 teams or something. I mean, who the heck really knows at this point? But, interesting to know they're getting to work, and you just wonder if it's a little too late. As far as USF, I don't know enough about their operations to know, the likelihood of the stadium and all of that. I'll take the word of somebody who knows the lay of the land a bit better, but that's the same scenario of, you look up depending on how things go, and they might, if they do have some, shiny new facilities, maybe it was just a little bit too little too late. We'll have to see on that.